fluoride is a very potent neurotoxin, and when you remove that from the brain functions comes back. And it's a beautiful thing to see in people when the spark comes back, the vitality, the creativity, the intuition, all that kind of is dependent on, it's been systematically poisoned in the US. Our brain, systematically poisoned with fluoride. When I first came to the US, I met John Yamuyanis. He was the main fluoride researcher in the 1980s. And I listened to his lectures, I got his science. And Santa Fe, where I lived at the time, I was coming up to a decision to fluoridate the drinking water or not. It was not fluoridated when I moved there. And so I was a doctor, I was well known in the community, so I drummed the community together. We were about 600 people, mostly women, mostly young mothers. I gave them all the science that was already available, how the fluoridation of the drinking water was such a fraudulent thing based on non-existing science and lying about the science of it. So it was like I delivered all the points, and 2 days later was the public opinion polls, on fluoridation, and over 90% of the same people that were there voted for the fluoridation. And that's when I knew we had a long uphill battle ahead. And so now the AMA, a few days ago, declared, that they finally discovered that fluoride is really bad for you. So we need to see what happens now. There is, like this guy, Dr. Cope, who removed smoking from the good list. It took one man who was the Surgeon General to stop smoking worldwide. I know there is still smoking, but it's much, much less than it used to be. It took one man to fight that battle who was in a position of power. We don't have thousands of problems. We have 4 problems. Wi-Fi, glyphosate, or let's call it agrochemicals, aluminum in the air, and fluoride in the water. If you could solve those 4 things, America would move from the worst health country to the healthiest country within maybe 2 or 3 years. It wouldn't take very long. But right now, that is left up to Russia. That we can see that in sports, sort of that the healthiest athletes that win everything come either from the former Balkan countries. They don't have fluoride in the water. The infrastructure was destroyed, so they hardly have any Wi-Fi. They don't have money for paying for farming chemicals. They have very rich soil. They don't spray. They produce the Djokovic and the this and the that in terms of athletes. How to get the fluoride out of the brain. So first of all, it starts with not putting any fluoride in there. So we need the fluoride extracting water filter, and that's very, very difficult to do. I use one that's called Berkey. It comes with cartridges that are pretty good in removing the fluoride. We've been using high-dose melatonin as creams and as suppositories, and that is dramatically effective. It's uncomfortable for a few months, as the stuff comes out backwards, but it gets people's memory back.